So the Lib Dems have long benefited from being a protest vote against Labour and the Tories, but those protest votes are now going to the Greens on the left and Reform on the right. So how do you secure your party's position as a credible alternative from the centre?
Well, voters think we're credible because they keep voting for us. Not only the last general election, we got our best result for 100 years, the last local election results when we beat Labour and the Conservatives for the first time ever, and in council by-elections across the whole of the country for the whole of last year. Which party won the most those elections? It was the Liberal Democrats. We beat Reform, only party consistently beating Reform, and we won more council by-elections than Labour, Conservatives and Greens combined. So that's a winning party, and it's really interesting, isn't it, when people actually get a chance to cast their ballot, they're voting Liberal Democrat.
Do you think it's fair to say that you're being overshadowed by Reform and the Greens, though, and why is that?
Well, the Greens are taking a lot of left-wing sort of Corbynista votes from Labour with their policies of pulling out of NATO and getting rid of the nuclear deterrent. Those are very dangerous policies. Liberal Democrats do not support them, and we support, having our nuclear deterrent, having alliances with other countries to keep our country strong. And so that may appeal to some left-wing voters, but the people we are taking on are Reform and the Conservatives. Here in Surrey, where we think we can make big gains from the Conservatives and are holding off a threat from Reform, in Sussex, in Hampshire, in Hertfordshire, in Huntingdonshire, but we're also taking on Labour in parts of London, in Birmingham, in Newcastle. So as we go into this new set of local elections, we're really buoyant. We think we can do really well and make big gains from both Conservative and Labour.
You say the Greens are dangerous, but you're not opposed to Lib Dems going into electoral pacts with them on a local level?
Well, people decide on what pacts they want in a local level. That's up to them after the election when the voters have spoken. I don't think we'll see very much of that, actually. And I think in many areas we'll see the Democrats beating Greens. We beat them in West Oxfordshire very recently, 2 seats off the Greens. We beat them in Spelthorne just the other day, and I predict in places like Richmond we will win fights against the Greens.
And what would success look for you at these elections? And if you don't make the gains that you're predicting, would that raise questions about your leadership?
Well, given we keep winning, I think we're going to keep winning, and therefore I think we will remain the most united party in Parliament. It's the Labour government who seem divided. There's talk of the leadership elections every week with the Labour government, and the Conservatives, they keep losing MPs to Reform. Kelly Badenoch is very good at shrinking her own number of MPs. I think we're going to grow and keep growing in the next general election, but in the meantime I think we are going to make gains in these local elections, to come back to your question, and I think we're going to make big gains from both Conservatives and Labour.
On energy bills, do you want to see universal support or something more targeted?
Well, then definitely to be something targeted, because there are people who are really struggling already with energy bills, let alone before these rises caused by Trump's illegal war. But I am worried that the government isn't thinking about people on middle incomes and modest incomes, for whom a £500 rise in energy bills, which is what's being talked about, on top of the rising mortgage costs, on top of the rising petrol and diesel prices, on top of cost of living crisis that was already there, these people will really be hammered. So the government's got to think more widely. Yet no one wants the richest people to get money that they need, and that was a big mistake of Liz Truss, who wasted a lot of money. So we've got to get it right, but I'm worried that the government is not thinking about people who will struggle to pay an extra £500.
Keir Starmer's popularity has ticked up over his handling of the Iran war and Trump. What's your assessment, and what would you do differently?
Well, we've been the main party opposing Donald Trump's policies, not just on his illegal war in Iran, which has put up all these energy bills and petrol bills, but we opposed him with his trade tariffs, which have hit our industry. We've opposed him in the way he's undermined our defence and security and not been so supportive of Ukraine against Russia's illegal invasion. It's been the Liberal Democrats who have been the ones saying to Keir Starmer that he should do more to stand up to Donald Trump, and I'm really proud it's been the Liberal Democrats standing up to Trump. Actually, I think the question is to Kenny Badenoch and the Conservatives and Nigel Farage from Reform, who cheerleaded for Donald Trump's illegal war, wanted the UK to be part of it, and they should apologise, because the illegal war they championed has put up people's petrol bills, has put up people's mortgage costs and energy bills.
And just lastly, are you prepared to risk the special relationship by standing up to Trump more?
Well, I don't think there is a special relationship with Donald Trump. He trashes the UK, he trashes Canada, he trashes Greenland, he trashes everybody. He's a corrupt and unpleasant president, and it's right to call him out. Call a spade a spade. I will hope that special relationship can be rebuilt with a new president. There are lots of amazing American politicians who are opposed to Trump, and there are lots of people we can work with in America and rebuild that relationship. But we just have to face the facts. Donald Trump is dangerous in his economic policies and his security policies, and he undermines our country. We have to stand up for the national interest.
Thank you very much.
Sir Ed Davey, you talk a lot about Donald Trump. You did in your speech just now. Do you think anyone's listening to what you're saying about Donald Trump?
Absolutely. When we go knocking on doors, when our community activists are going out to talk to people, showing how we can fix things in their community, actually, Donald Trump comes up on the doorstep. People are pretty cross with people like Kenny Badenoch and Nigel Farage for supporting Trump's illegal war, which has resulted in the prices of the petrol at the pumps going up, with the threat of huge rise in energy bills and mortgage costs going up. They know that the Conservatives and Reform back Trump, and they like the fact that the Democrats have been the party standing up to Trump.
I think the Chancellor today will talk a little bit more about the impact that conflict has had here on the cost of living and set out, I think, some principles around support that the government could lay out. Do you think that actually in this situation, Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves are taking quite a sensible approach and not being too irrational in announcing too much too soon?
Well, we'll look at the proposals they put forward. The Democrats are really concerned about the rises in petrol prices and energy bills, and the government will have to help people and do that properly. We think that energy bills need to come down anyway. They're too high already, and the fact that Trump's illegal war, supported by the Conservative Reform, is shoving up those bills even more is really worrying for people.
You're here to launch your local election campaign. Notably, housing is one of your 5 priorities. Is that because simply councillors are NIMBYs?
No, each area is different on housing. In my own constituency, we've got local elections. We're building loads of council houses. We've got the largest council house programme in over 40 years, so we are building houses. In different areas, there are different issues. Affordable housing, though, is really important, and Liberal Democrats, if you look at the record of our councils, is really strong on that.
Sky News today, we revealed thousands of unreasonable planning rejections that councils recently made, costing council taxpayers millions of pounds, and some of those are Lib Dem run councils. So actually, you're not fixing the housing crisis.
Well, in many areas we are the champions of more affordable housing, which is fixing the
Not
housing
according to this data that we've got. You've said if you want something in your community fixed, Lib Dems will do it, not the housing crisis.
No, Liberal Democrats are building lots of affordable homes. I can give you examples from my own constituency. I go around the country, I see Liberal Democrat-run councils building homes. Of course, not every planning application should go through. That would be nonsense. Sometimes there's not the infrastructure there that people want, whether it's for the water, for the transport, schools, for the health service. That has to be there. And one of the problems with the way the Conservatives ran planning and Labour are is it's really top-down. You don't listen to people, don't listen to communities, and people will accept homes. They accept them in my constituency because the infrastructure is there.
Do councillors sometimes listen too much, though, to the noisiest residents, the ones that rally together to oppose a development? Do councillors sometimes need to take a step back and look at really what the local housing need is?
Well, the housing need will vary from place to place, and people need to focus on that. We're very strongly of the view that we need more social housing, more affordable housing, and if you look at the record of the Democrats, it's really very strong on that.
You've guaranteed that you will lead the party into the next general election. Does that guarantee still stand?
Absolutely. We're the most united party in British politics. If you look at the Conservatives, they keep losing members of Parliament to Reform, really divided. In Labour, there looks like there could be a leadership election. I'm really proud that we keep winning. We got the best result in over 100 years at the last general election. Look at council elections, we keep winning. So we've got a really proud record, and I'm both standing on that and taking it forward.
So what do you say to some of the MPs in your party who might question the direction you're going in and question whether your messaging is right, you need to be a bit more radical? What do you say to those MPs?
Well, the vast majority like what we're doing. I mean, take here in Guildford constituency, Zoe Franklin, our local government spokesperson, working really strongly with me on a whole set of local issues, whether it's special education needs, which is really big here in Surrey, where the Conservatives have really messed up, whether it's social care, so important for pensions for disabled people. Liberal Democrats have been leading on social care, and the whole party is strongly behind that. So it's the other parties that I think have got the real problems. Our messages speak to local people as we're finding on the doorstep.
Can I just ask you finally, assisted dying, you voted against changing the law to legalise assisted dying. But what do you make of this delay that we are seeing in hospitals?
Yeah, Although I personally voted against it, and it's a free vote, so different Liberal Democratic people vote different ways, I am disturbed about the filibustering, the delays in the House of Lords. That looks undemocratic to me. I think the bill should come back to the House of Commons so the elected members can look at what's been amended in the bill and make the final decision.
And should Keir Starmer be intervening to make sure that happens?
I think he should. I mean, the government really control the business of both houses, and I think his own backbenchers would be really cross with the Prime Minister. It's part of the divisions you see in the Labour Party.